Hello, good morning, and welcome to day number 292. My name is Mary, and today's story is Peter denies Jesus. At that time, there were two high priests. One was Annas, who had been high priest until his office had been taken from him by the Romans and given to Caiaphas, Caiaphas, his son-in-law. But Annas still had great power among the people, and they brought Jesus to Annas first. Simon Peter and John, the disciple Jesus loved, followed the crowd that carried Jesus away, and they came to the door of the high priest's house. John knew the high priest and went in, but Peter stayed outside until John brought him in. He came in, but did not dare go into the room where Jesus stood before Annas. In the courtyard of the house, they had made a fire of charcoal before Annas. In the courtyard, okay, I'm repeating myself, pardon me. I'll say it once again anyway. In the courtyard of the house, they had made a fire of charcoal, and Peter stood with those warming themselves at the fire. Annas asked Jesus about his disciples and teaching. Jesus answered him, "What I have taught has been open in the synagogues and in the temple. Why do you ask me? Ask those that heard me. They know what I said." Then one of the officers struck Jesus on the mouth, saying to him, "Is this the way you answer the high priests?" Jesus answered the officer calmly and quietly, "If I have said anything evil, tell what the evil is. But if I have spoken the truth, why do you strike me?" While Annas and his men were showing their hate toward Jesus, who stood bound and alone among his enemies, Peter was still in the courtyard warming himself at the fire. A maid in the house looked at Peter carefully and said to him, "You were one of those men with this Jesus of Nazareth." Peter was afraid to tell those men with this Jesus of Nazareth. Peter was afraid to tell the truth, and he answered her, "Woman, I do not know the man, and I do not know what you are talking about." To get away from her, he went out into the porch of the house. There, another servant saw him and said, "This man was with Jesus." And Peter swore with an oath that he did not know Jesus at all. Soon a man came by. He looked at Peter, heard him speak, and said, "You are surely one of this man's disciples, for your speech shows that you came from Galilee." Then Peter began to curse and swear, declaring that he did not know the man they were talking about. Just at that moment, the loud, shrill crowing of a cock startled Peter. And at the same time, he saw Jesus, who was being dragged through the hall from Annas to Caiaphas, the other high priest. The Lord turned as he was passing and looked at Peter. Peter remembered what Jesus had said the evening before. Before the cock crows tomorrow morning, you will deny 3 times that you have ever known me. Then Peter went out of the high priest's house into the street, and he wept bitterly because he had denied his Lord. And that was the word of the Lord. I will share with you a picture that says Peter went out and wept bitterly. And there it is. Now we come to the discussion questions. Number 1. Why were there 2 high priests? Why were there 2 high priests? Number 2. Who did the crowd take Jesus to? Who did the crowd take Jesus to? Second part of question number 2. What did he ask Jesus? What did he ask Jesus? Third question. What did Jesus tell him? What did Jesus tell him? Number 4 and last. What did Peter do? What did Peter do? And now we have come to the last question in day number 292. It's great to have you with me. May you continue to do so. Until next time, may God bless us all. Bye-bye for now.